Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
No, I just didn't arrange our icons right for this thing because I was distracted.
That is incorrect, David.
Yeah, it is incorrect. So let me just correct it. I got distracted. I screwed up. But, give me a minute and I'll fix it. Because
workshop.
I do live inside a workshop, yes.
Good.
I do. How do I where's transform? Transform. Hey. No. There it is. Let's just do this and this and this and this and this. All right, doing it live. There we go. See, flawless execution of everything.
You need to trim that a little.
No, it's good. It's good. We're good. Okay.
You're good.
All right. C nuts, D's nuts, eat nuts, meat nuts, big nuts, filled nuts, lil nuts, grill nuts, all nuts, ball nuts, hall nuts, small nuts, what nuts, could nuts, go nuts, wrong nuts, naming nuts, nuts, C nuts, question nuts, welcome nuts, to nuts, the nuts, relay nuts, station nuts. Nuts.
C nuts for the win.
C nuts. Hey everyone. I can't get C nuts out of my head.
That's like the intro to this week's ISC with the noodles.
Chestnuts would have been. I should have used chestnuts. I don't know why I didn't.
How did you not get chestnuts? Come on, man.
Look.
This is the season for roasting them on an open fire.
I know, but I've had no sleep, so forgot. I was like, almonds. That doesn't work. What other nuts are there? Pecans. That doesn't work either. I can't say almond nuts. What rhymes with almond nuts?
Peanuts.
I should have gone with walnuts. All nuts, walnuts, ball nuts, hall nuts.
Welcome to the Relay Station, everybody. This is
welcome to the
very
station.
Standard state of affairs, and I am still shiver 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's because we miss them.
I know. What the hell?
I know.
Are you a chicken?
Yeah. Chick nuts, Brazil nuts.
Brazil nuts. Man, I only ever have those at Christmas. Ever. Only ever at Christmas.
I don't think I've ever had a Brazil nut.
Really?
Really? Really?
Intriguing.
I don't eat nuts I eat lots of pistachios, but pistachios are not a nut. Amazing. Are they a nut?
Well, I think technically they're not a nut. But a lot of things technically aren't the group that we put them in.
Like tomatoes.
Yep. Actually, tomatoes is probably one of the best examples. They are a fruit that does not act like a fruit.
Pizza's a pie. It's a fruit pie.
Yep.
So, in case you can't tell by my background, I've moved things around a bit again. And I'm going to be moving things around a bit again and again and again and again until I decide where I want to build my office. So, that said, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Relay Station. Hope you're all doing well. How y'all been?
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Because this is an educational podcast.
We are an educational podcast. It's true.
Pistachios are not nuts. They are seeds.
That's what I thought. They're the most delicious of seeds, I think.
Yeah, pistachios are amazing.
They are.
Yeah, several times I have eaten them. Eaten an entire huge bag in one sitting.
Yep.
They're amazing.
Yep. So, I want to start by talking about IAE this week.
What does that stand for, David? We are an educational podcast after all.
Mud trucker.
Thank you, Mud Truck.
I think it stands for ivermectin, anally expelled.
No,
Oh, okay. What's it stand for?
it stands for Intergalactic Aerospace Expo.
Okay, because I was going to say international, and I was like, that's wrong.
Yep.
I've got to come up with something else because I can't think of the proper term right now.
Well, there you go. I learned you.
Intergalactic.
Yep.
Planetary.
Planetary.
Intergalactic.
That's right. You got it.
Okay. So this year's IAE has gone, I want to say, well.
I'm going to go with the word splendiferously.
That's a good word. Splendiferously. Best IAE they've had. Got them back on track this year for another year.
Year of funding.
Literally nonstop.
They made like, it was nuts. I'm actually going to pull the number. Just give me a second. I think they made like $40 million in November. But I actually will be able to tell you in a couple seconds here.
I mean, I'm with you, Mud Trucker. I don't think intergalactic makes sense.
Not really, but it's the name of a convention. It doesn't have to make sense.
It's like Miss Universe. That's not fair.
Yeah, okay.
There's an entire other universes of misses, and you've ignored all of them.
Sorry, I overestimated a little bit. They only made $28 million in November, but it bested last year's $23 million and the previous year's $22 million by a lot. They're up 23% over last year. And it put them, they were behind last year's funding at the beginning of the month. And now they are well ahead. So probably going to end up somewhere in the range of 120 to 130 million dollars this year.
I mean, the Gorblacks is, I almost feel like they're cheating. Too many appendages, you know?
Is that cheating? Is that an assistance in the Miss Universe pageant?
I mean, when it comes to playing the piano, yeah.
True. Well, if you can coordinate all of your limbs.
Oh, they can.
Wow, someone's speaking from experience.
Yes. Wow. Oh, this is going to be a mess.
David, this
Yeah.
is the relay station.
It is. I will turn Eric up a little bit more.
We haven't had a show that's not been a mess in decades.
And I'll turn me down. Let's do this. Okay. Tell me if this is a little
far away. I can fix that as well. I think my mic boom got a little bit bent. There, that should be a little better.
How's that?
Let me know if that helped too.
I think it's just that I'm loud.
All right.
Let's see how that is. Okay. So. Thanks, Harold. Did I do anything at I'm trying to think of what I did for IAE. I got a Suilen. and I finally decided. I think last year or even the year, I don't know when it came. When was the Galaxy announced?
I think that was last year, wasn't it?
I think it was last
RSI
year.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
RSI Galaxy.
Oh no, sorry,
It
not the Galaxy.
was.
The Odyssey, the Myst
Oh, the
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Because what I did do
Um,
is I finally, when the Odyssey was announced, I had picked up a CCU from Carrick to Odyssey, and I
mhm.
finally used that CCU and got rid of my Carrick and now have an Odyssey because I don't like the Carrick, which I know to some is blasphemy, but
The Odyssey looks like it was 2 years ago.
yeah, that sounds about right. I held out. I held out hope. I waited a long time to see if CIG would, fix the Carrick, turn, help it slim down a little bit, but it doesn't look like they're going to. So, Odyssey, it is.
At least not anytime soon.
Yeah,
It needs still needs some work, so it's possible they'll revisit it, but we'll see.
yeah. I will say one of the saddest parts about this year's IAE, and I understand it, but was no Jax. Not having Jax this year was sad, but next year.
Yeah, but think how epic they can make next year and show all of his bizarre adventures that took 2 years to compile.
I know. I'm excited. So,
Yeah, me too.
we're gonna talk
What
about
do
the
you
rest of
think?
the
I'm
news.
actually sure. I'm actually not sure because I didn't see a lot of discussion about this topic. Why do you think they didn't show Jax this year? The
I
animation,
think,
the cinematic team is busy.
yeah, I think it's because doing Jack stuff takes a lot of cinematics work, and the cinematics team are all probably polishing on Squadron to, you know,
Yeah.
nose to the grindstone, getting Squadron done. Which, honestly, good. That's a better use of the cinematics team. Jax is fun. I want Squadron in my ear holes. I don't know. It wasn't the writers and actors strike because I think that was just for film and TV. The video game actors and writers did not strike yet. I hope they do, but I don't think they did. I could be wrong. I discovered something this week.
Oh, what did you discover? Oh,
It's called
I see you. Go ahead.
it's called hop water.
Oh dear lord.
So beer is made with barley and hops and yeast, and then it's turned into alcohol. Hop water is just made with a little bit of hops and water and carbonated. There's no alcohol, no sugar, no carbs, and it tastes a little bit like beer. And it's my new favorite thing in the world, and I love it. Hop water.
I have to say,
Anyway,
I have never heard of such a thing before,
yeah,
but I'm
I
glad you
hadn't
enjoy it.
either. I love it. It's amazing. Okay, before we move on to the news of the week, what did everyone else think in the chat of IAE this year? Did you pick anything up? Clearly the community liked IAE. We spent a lot of money, but what did you all think? Good IAE, bad? You know, the Arastra it's a really nice ship. I did not get one.
It is a really nice ship. It's very cool. Mining ships are awesome. It is expensive. And I didn't really want to trade in any of my other ships for it. So
Yeah, that's fair.
but I did get a Seulin because it is awesome. Straight up. Fantastic. One of the best ships they've ever made. It's just impressive, straight up.
Yeah. That's Mud Trucka, that's completely fair. My wallet was safe the last year. And I think even the year before, honestly, I think I did everything with store credit for a while now. This year I did actually spend new money on the Suilen because I finally felt like, you know, they did enough this year. CitizenCon this year was phenomenal that you know, they earned my money.
Yeah. Harold,
Oh,
the 315 was designed 10 years ago. It needs to have some love.
I still think that the way that CIG are doing tractor beams for ships is bad.
Why?
Because on
That's
most
a blanket
ships,
statement, David. You know,
yes, it
blanket
is.
statements are sometimes difficult to
Yeah,
defend.
but they're also really cozy. You know, it's a really cold out there, and you wrap yourself in a blanket statement, and you know, get all nice and warm and cozy. It's great.
Why they call them blankets now?
Yeah, yeah, it's cozy in your blanket.
Okay, so why don't you like the way that they've been doing tractor beams on ships?
Because there's a couple shifts. Oh man, Mud Trucka.
He's too tired for the bow tie.
I'm too tired for the bow tie. When Squadron comes
It's not
out,
about CIG.
I have no energy, and honestly, I've gained too much weight, and I don't think I fit in any of my my button ups right now. I need to lose some weight before I can wear a bow tie again. So, you know, I'll work on it. But I don't like that there are ships like the 315, bunch of other ones, lots of the ships that were designed earlier that you can't use the cargo beam to load its own cargo bay, because it seems like the cargo beam on those ships is useless. And it is that way because they decided to do all cargo as physicalized versus what every single other video game, including Chris Roberts' previous video games, did. Was, you know, you use the tractor beam and it gets to your ship and it magically appears in your hold, which I know it's not as realistic, but what the fuck is the point of a tractor beam on a 315p if you have to get out of your frickin' ship to pick up the box, fly it around? Like, it's useless.
I agree.
I hate it.
They need to. The caterpillars one is much more interesting. Because the caterpillar is asymmetric like that, and
Yep.
the tractor beam is off to the side, so it can actually lift things and put them into the cargo holds.
Yep.
That is a much more interesting use of a tractor beam. Personally, I think what should happen, and I do think that this is probably going to happen eventually, just to smooth out gameplay concerns, is I think that once you tractor, especially on a single seater ship, I think once you tractor something close enough to your ship, there should be like an automatic tractor beam that grabs it and then puts it in your cargo bay.
Yeah.
You don't have to unphysicalize it. It just makes the act of playing the game easier.
Yep. Or right now, let's say I tractor a box over there, and then you walk between me and the box. Does the box fall?
I actually don't know.
I don't believe so, no. Why can't the tractor beam just move things around the ship? Like, go through the ship? Just hand
I just think
waving
it would be. I just think it would be more in keeping with the way Star Citizen is.
Yeah.
If there was like this tractor beam that's inside the cargo bay that just grabs it when it comes close.
Yeah. And I completely agree, especially for small ships that have, you know, 2, 3, 4 SCU of cargo room.
Yeah.
That ship is not there to have the cargo loading gameplay. It's not like.
Yeah.
Do I want
That's
you
why
to
I
have
said
to
that.
load? Yeah.
That's why I said that. It needs you're right on the right track. Is the reason I said that is that on larger ships, you're going to have other crew members who might not have anything to do for the moment and be like, "Hey, can you help me load the cargo?" And they can use their cargo beams to move stuff around.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. It doesn't make sense in a single seater ship.
Yeah.
To have to manually load the cargo, especially because it usually means going out into space.
Yep. Yep.
EVAs shouldn't be considered that much of a danger-free task. Shall we move on to taking a look at this week's ISC?
Yes, but first I wanted to talk about some things that we don't actually have video for,
Okay, perfect.
but that I have seen. Because I've seen people playing around with the new character creator and the hair.
Yeah.
The hair
And
is
the
so
hair.
good.
Yep.
Like the way the hair moves
Amazing.
is outstanding. Like 10 on 10. Well done with the hair. I'm really impressed. I've also seen, I don't know if this was from PT like Evocati or not, but the arm on the reclaimer, some people have been able to use that to break apart ships.
Ooh.
I saw a video of that. I don't know.
Claw actually functions? Wow.
No, it's sort of it's like a tier 0 implementation where the claw goes out and goes near the ship, and then there's like an aura of breaking that happens and the ship will break apart. The claw doesn't do anything yet. But I did like I'm bringing this up because I saw a bunch of people get angry at this, that this is not how the claw should work. Like, what's the point of the claw? It's like Mug Trucka says, it's not a claw, it's a beam emitter. What's the point of it? And
I definitely think the reclaimer needs to keep its claw. It becomes nowhere near as scary without it.
But I think it's going to keep its claw. I think this is a tier 0 implementation where they're like, we've only got one ship that can salvage. How can we make this work in the reclaimer? Just make the claw beam and we'll deal with it later. I think that's probably what's happened here.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm completely okay with that happening.
And me too. And because we know that they're moving forward to having like full structure salvage where you can jam things into the giant grinder on the reclaimer, I'm okay with that. That's all right. And they're just doing what they can as things are currently. Makes sense to me. All right. Has anyone else been playing lately? How's your experiences been with Pyro, if you got to play? I got to play a little bit, and I should probably play more, but Baldur's Gate 3 is eating my life. So I did play a little bit, and I had I had a lot of fun. Ended up in one of the stations, shooting baddies in a cargo bay. Well, actually getting killed by baddies in a cargo bay, but yeah.
I will admit I have not played Pyro at all. I had installed the PTU, and I had installed the like test universe, and then I realized that I only had like 20 gigs left on my hard drive, and I had been trying to figure out what was taking up all the room. Then I realized, oh wait, it's the extra 200 gigs of Star Citizen that I have downloaded. So I got rid of that, and I've decided that I need a bigger NVMe drive.
You could
I'm
just
gonna.
you could have just ditched the PTU and only taken the experimental build.
Yeah, I don't like experiment. I like stuff when it goes live. I can't.
Fair.
It's so hard for me to bring myself to play non-live stuff, so I'm gonna wait for it to be live because I'm
I'm
weird
totally cool
like
with it. I
that.
just thought you might want to. I just thought you might want to jump in to check out Pyro.
Let's, you know what? Why don't we go over here and look at Pyro while we talk about Pyro? Because and what's that in the background? Jeez. Okay, there, that's fixed.
That's noodles. There are noodles everywhere.
Yeah,
Noodles.
I guess they all ask about noodles a lot. I want to know where the procedural food tech has gone, because it doesn't look when they grab that bite like it disappears out of that noodle cup.
That is Squadron 42 technology, sir.
You're right. It's true.
Man, do their environments look good.
Yeah,
They look better and better all the time.
I do want to, as always, give a thanks to Haramis for putting the videos together for us.
Yeah, thank you, Hermes.
And yes, these vistas. The game looks so friggin' good.
It looks amazing. It's just beautiful. I love the hoodoos too. They're such a neat feature. I'm glad that they decided to scatter them about.
I was here. Well, in this this episode, they talk about how 3 of the planets aren't even in Pyro yet.
Yeah.
Which I find really interesting. Man, my computer is not liking chat. Some things just aren't appearing.
It's not about
Eric,
you, chat. It's about him.
It's it's like, welcome to the chat room, welcome to the chat room, welcome to the chat room, where it keeps disconnecting and reconnecting me from the chat. I think the stream is fine.
Yeah, no problems with the stream. It's all running great.
Eric, if you can just keep an eye on it, because
Yep, I will do that.
It just keeps disconnecting me from chat, which is really annoying. So it's only 3 of the planets of Pyro that they included in the tech preview.
Yep, 3 of 6.
3 of 6, and it's only some of the missions and gameplay things, which I didn't know that they could do that easily. Yep. And I'm really happy that they can, because the fact that they can do a test universe of just Pyro, but just parts of Pyro, leads me to believe that they can do more of these test universes more easily in the future.
And what Todd Pappy was saying was that the tech preview builds are quite a bit different from PTU builds. And what they do is they take the live version of the game that's stable, and they put the bits and pieces that they want to test into the live version, and then they put it onto tech preview so that it runs better.
Right.
And so that they can actually be focused people on, we want to see you play this, and not be, constantly fighting bugs that are in PTU and Evocati.
Peanuts. Yeah, I find that really interesting, and in theory, I really like this. I do worry a little. I think they're not going to use this tech preview very often. I don't think they're going to use it all the time. I do worry a little bit about how fractured it is. Like, they've got 3 different live environments that they're running at the same time, which is, for anyone that wants to download all 3, that's 300 gigs plus.
Yep.
It's a lot.
Or 1 Call of Duty.
Yes. It would just be nice if there was a way for them to, you don't have to re-download the entire game for the PTU.
That would be nice. I don't know how they would do it.
I don't know either, but use some of the base files of the main like live, and then just when you run PTU, I don't know how computers work, so it would just be nice if it was like, oh, the PTU is 10 gigs, not 100.
Be aware that that would be lovely. You can always just go delete those folders, and you don't want to have them around. If you're like, I'm not going to play PTU for the next 2 weeks, you can just go delete your PTU folder, and free up some space.
Yeah, I guess you can copy live to PTU and verify.
You can.
But so here's my problem.
Even moving that big of a file around is sometimes difficult.
You can do that. Just like, well, and right now you have to, if you want to play, PTU, ePTU, tech preview, and you've got your own custom controls, you have to copy your custom controls over, because nothing persists, and things like custom controls should be separated entirely from the different like branches of the game. They should just be static. They should be above that, right? Like there should be an above this hierarchy that like your settings don't change. You just hop in and you've got the same key bindings and stuff. I don't know.
That would be really nice. That would be really nice. I think part of why they haven't done that yet is that they keep changing the key bindings.
Yeah. They really, really need to lock down key bindings for Squadron. And like
for Squadron, yeah.
But for Squadron and for Star, like we're 1 to 3 years away from Squadron.
I would say 1 to 2.
1 to 2.
I think we're probably,
somewhere between 2 and 5 years away from a like Star Citizen
release. Yeah, it's probably about right. Probably more like 3 to 5, but because I don't see Squadron and Star Citizen being that close in time.
Yeah. I don't know how that works, Mud Trucka, but I like the sound of it. I'd rather just have to verify than... Interesting. Okay. I'll have to look at that.
Interesting. I didn't know you could do that. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, I didn't know. No, I know there's a lot and they keep adding more, but they're going to have to sort their key binding and key bindings changing and disappearing, and like that is a problem that they're going to have to sort. And I know there's a lot of people that will put in the effort to make it not matter. They'll, they've got their save files, they know how they're working things, they copy stuff. Like there's people that are, how do I put this? There are people that are on the ball and this doesn't bother them. But then there's idiots like me who like, I don't have the time, the wherewithal, the intelligence, the patience, or the awakeness to do any of this shit.
And like 80% of that was the awakeness.
80% of that is the awakeness. Just, I want them to make it easy. I just want it to be easy.
Yep. I know.
That's all.
And I'm sure it will be at some point. It just isn't now.
Yeah. I think we have to be getting, I think next year, that's got to be one of their things they tackle. Honestly, like
I would imagine it would be, because I really don't think they're going to want to change the key bindings post live Squadron, because they're going to want people to go from Squadron into Star Citizen and be able to use the same key bindings. Should be familiar.
Yeah, and maybe they might have to add new key bindings when they add new entire mechanics, but like they need to get a standard.
Stay the same.
Yeah. They need to get a basic standard, and that's just it. I do believe they also need to simplify things a bit.
Oh, the screen needs to be loved.
Yeah.
A lot.
The key binding screen is horrible. There's a whole bunch of blank entries that do nothing. There's like, it's all nonsense. Like, unless you know exactly what all of these key bindings mean, good luck figuring out what a lot of them actually do. Anyway.
Yeah, they need to go through and write. If I mean, either rename them or put tooltips in so you can hover over and figure out exactly what the hell it means. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, docking camera. They really need a bunch of different cameras. Docking camera, reversing camera, landing camera. Like, they need cameras on the outside of ships. Period.
Yep. We have them on the outside of electric cars now.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
I should have cameras on every surface of my ship.
Yep.
Except the toilet.
Nope, there too.
Oh, jeez. Checking for intruders, are we?
No, OnlyFans. It's evolved in the year 2943.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
I want to start up a website.
That's the brand that's made it. That's the brand that's made it to 2953 or whatever it is.
I want to start up a restaurant. Or like, not a restaurant, but like a dessert place, and call it OnlyFlans. OnlyFlans?
Yes.
Like flans, and it's you just serve flans.
Yep.
I think that'd be funny.
Is flan one of your specialties?
No, I've actually never made a flan. I don't do desserts.
That is going to be a very difficult learning curve to get that restaurant up and going.
Yeah. No, my specialties are pizza and burgers, so I don't do flans.
Maybe you should start.
Maybe. I like that there's hanging noodles in the back.
Yeah, that's cool, hey? Man, their details are amazing. That was one of the things I really noticed when I was playing in Pyro, is their attention to detail is just insane. And man, that mountain range looks good.
I really don't know what to talk about this week, because they show a lot of really pretty stuff, but there's not that much to say about it.
It's pretty.
It's pretty. But we've been saying it's pretty every week for the last 150 weeks or whatever. Right? There's not much.
Oh man.
The water looks good, you know. The atmospheric clouds behind that space station look great. There's no meat this week, which is understandable. You know, it's just after CitizenCon. The year's not over. I think they're probably in like ramp down for end of the year mode.
Oh yeah.
Have a break.
Like 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks until everybody's off for the holidays.
Yeah, and I think they don't have their big, you know, what's happening this year meetings until like January next year, February or something, right? Like
it's usually the end of January.
Yeah, where they plan out the year. So
yep.
I mean,
like Trucka, camera in the bathroom so you know you wipe properly.
It's important.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
No. You know what would be hilarious?
What's that?
If on certain ships, not like a Drake, because fuck that, but like on Origin ships, when you go to the bathroom, if there's like a readout of your like health and like body functions after, like when you go to the bathroom in an Origin ship,
that would be amazing.
When you're done, it's like your heart rate is this. You have this many rads of radiation. You could use more bran. I don't know. Some like it reads out like your character status sheet when you go to the washroom.
Eat more fiber.
Eat more, yeah. In an origin ship. I think that would be hilarious.
Oh, that'd be amazing. And then you do the exact same thing in a Drake ship, and all it says is "You aren't dead."
The props in Pyro are fantastic. The clutter and the garbage and the like.
The environmental storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Wow.
what we need to see, and I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon, but they have said for years and years and years and years and years that if a system becomes more prosperous,
Mm-hmm.
it will look better. Right?
Yep.
So what happens if everyone loves Pyro and everyone just sticks around Pyro and Pyro starts making tons of money? Are we going to see a change in the law system? Are we going to start to see things get cleaned up? I guess my question really is, how are they populating these space stations with props? Because if it's let me try and extend this across. They've got AI, they've said, that's going to go around and clean things up, and you won't always see it, but things will be picked up by quanta things, right? That's how they're going to clean stuff up. And the reason that stuff doesn't get cleaned up in Pyro is because those quanta essentially don't exist in Pyro. But if Pyro starts becoming wealthy enough that those jobs start getting created, are the props that they've put in these places manipulatable to the point that you could actually see something like Pyro get cleaned?
I'd say long term, maybe. I would say certainly things like trash being picked up more are things that I could see them doing. Changing the laws of Pyro is probably more of a story thing that would happen, and less of a procedural thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I could see them reflect the increasing prosperity of Pyro stations by them being fixed up better, cleaner. The grime is less. There's less trash scattered around. Maybe the food quality goes up a little bit. You know, that type of deal.
I don't know. Those bugs look mighty tasty.
Yeah, you want some sea nuts?
Yeah, I would love some sea nuts. Sea nuts eat nuts.
We'll have to consider that for our the next time we have dinner together, which
Yes.
it's going to be some year.
Someday.
Oh man, going to a restaurant. Do you have any sea nuts?
Well, hey, look. Oh man. Food at CitizenCon is always very representative of food in the video games. So I want to see at next year's CitizenCon Pyro representation in the food court. In that, they better have somewhere that serves like grasshoppers. You can get a noodle bowl with grasshoppers.
Why? That's the coward's way out. Serve sea nuts. Make 'em.
If they, sure. What is a sea nut?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But you can make a reasonable approximation of one.
Yeah, I'd eat one. I'd try a sea nut. I'd try noodles with grasshoppers. Did you know that 1 pound of grasshoppers is both more nutritious and significantly less environmentally damaging than 1 pound of beef or chicken?
I did know that. Yeah.
Witchetty grubs.
Man, And man, whenever you get locusts, you're just in a feast. You know, chow down.
Yep. Just open your mouth. Find their way in. Oh God.
That's straight out of a horror movie, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That might have been a bit. That might have been a bit far.
Wow. Oh, docking camera indeed. Anyway,
All right. This is the time of the show where we've got 45 minutes left and nothing to talk about. So, ask us some questions, please. Anything. Just.
I have a mystery. I have a mystery. We need
Okay.
to solve.
Go.
So your chat overlay
Yep.
has
Is missing things.
It's missing some of the messages.
Yep. That's what. Here's the annoying part. My
That's weird.
chat log is missing some messages, and my overlay is missing some messages, and they're not always the same messages that they're missing, except there are some messages that both of them are missing.
Wow.
But the stream
Gotta
is
love
fine.
Gotta love technology. Yeah, no, the stream runs great. I don't know. I can't tell you. Well, would you like to talk a little bit about the Game Awards?
Oh, I mean, okay. Game Awards are December 7th, Thursday, at, I believe, like 7 p.m. Eastern time.
7:30 Eastern.
7:30. We're going to start at like 7 or so.
We'll start at about 7 Eastern, yeah.
Just FYI, we are going to be...
announcement.
Yes, we haven't announced... Well, I believe we have an announcement. We're going to announce it anyway. We're going to be joining Jake again for this year's Game Awards, but we're going to be joining Jake on their channel, and we're going to be re-hosting on here. But we're gonna hang out with Jake for the Game Awards again, which we haven't done
which is
in...
always a good time. Jake's knowledge of video games is like encyclopedic.
It is. So, yeah, Thursday, December 7th, probably at around 7 Eastern. What's that, like 5 Pacific?
No, it's 4 Pacific.
4 Pacific.
Mountain.
7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, 5 Mountain. We're gonna be over on Jake's channel, and we'll post about that in the Relay Discord. But really excited for the game.
Stream should be about 5 hours long. Roughly.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one, but really excited for the Game Awards this year. I do believe that Baldur's Gate is going to win all of it.
Honestly, I really think that one of Sven Venke's he was posting on Twitter asking if he should wear his armor to the Game Awards, and I'm wondering if he's trying to balance whether to wear his armor and whether he's going to be able to carry all of the awards with the armor on.
Yeah. In case anyone hasn't played it, Baldur's Gate 3 might be the best video game ever made.
It is truly a spectacular achievement in gaming.
Yeah.
And we're not the only people who think this. The recent reviews on Steam are locked at 98%.
Yeah.
The all-time at 96%.
Yep.
It's amazing. And most people are pretty sure that it's going to walk away with every award that it's nominated for.
I was actually reading something earlier that there are 4 video games. Only 4 video games ever have been given 10 on 10s by like the 4 main review people, like IGN, GameSpot, whatever the others are. GTA 4,
Okay.
Legend of Zelda,
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time, Super Mario Odyssey,
Mm-hmm.
and Elden Ring. And I read that, and honestly, I got quite angry because how the fuck can you give 10 on 10 to Super Mario Odyssey, GTA 4, and Elden Ring, but not Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, no,
Like,
especially
that's.
I played Elden Ring. It is a great game, but I don't really understand how you give it a 10 out of 10. It's not there. It's very interesting to play, but it's kind of one-dimensional in the way that it works. And there isn't, and I think you talked about this, but there isn't like there's lore and there's story, but there's not like a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's it's questionable to give that game a 10 on 10 and not give Baldur's Gate 3 a 10 on 10.
Anyway, Baldur's Gate 3,
I
best
was
game of
reading
all time.
I was reading a book of recipes today, in Baldur's Gate 3 and deciding whether or not I was going to try and make some of them.
Yes!
And I love this. I love this note in this book. I just have it up on my screen right now, so I'm going to read it. But one of the recipes was for potato chowder, and there's a note underneath the title, and it says, "Look, if all you got is potatoes, you've got to make this potato soup. This chowder makes it. Or sorry, look, if all you got is potatoes, you've got to make potato soup. This chowder makes it not horrid." uh, it's great. Makes me happy.
Bringing this back to Star Citizen for a moment, just because I feel like we should. I would really like to see real recipes in Star Citizen, like ones that can be made. People have a lot of fun with that. Starfield came out, and a lot of people were making chunks, because one of the big foods in Starfield is chunks, and it's just a square of whatever. Like, it's a square of it's a cube of beef, or a cube of potato. Like, it's just a chunk. And people were doing that in real life, and I thought it was hilarious. And like, people
I'm
like
curious.
that.
Is there an in-lore explanation for that? Is it because it's lab-grown meat?
I don't know. It's just that's how it's packaged.
Okay.
It's in cubes. It's probably because it's all lab grown.
Chunkular.
Yeah. But I think that's fun. I think it's fun when games include recipes, and they should also, because Star Citizen does have alcohol, include alcohol recipes for the drinks in the game.
Yeah, cocktails. Totally.
Yeah. So, okay, I got another question.
Go ahead.
This is a slightly weird one, and I apologize if anyone's offended this. Patch 5 for Baldur's Gate 3 just came out. And one of the things that they added in Patch 5 is physics for penises and testicles. They are now physically simulated objects.
Amazing. They're going Conan direction.
And I have
that's so funny.
First-hand knowledge of what happens in a multiplayer game when some people are watching a cinematic and one of them decides to strip and run around in the background with their, rod and tackle, swinging around. It's hilarious. Baldur's Gate isn't even a limited, like, it's not even an only online release. It's got a physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
Should Star Citizen have full nudity?
I mean, it's not going to because it's not developed in Europe. Primarily.
Partially is. Squadron is.
It partially is. I would say, see, this is the problem with this asking me this question is that I think that it's frankly ludicrous how much gore there is in games and how little appetite the rating boards have for nudity. And I'm like, it's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
The
So
fact
I would
that
say yes, but with similar to Baldur's Gate 3, a prompt at the beginning going, "Hey, this game has this stuff. You can turn it off. Here's the switch."
yeah,
You know?
I'd like to know what people in chat think as well.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
there's a very famous level in one of the Call of Duties, what is it, No Russian or whatever, where you walk through an airport and can mow down hundreds of innocent civilians in an airport.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that is acceptable according to ratings boards. But breasts or penis or vulva are not. And that is a problem, like a genuine problem. Like, we are more comfortable with guns and death than we are with, you know, reproduction, which is the continuation of the species. It boggles my fucking mind.
Yep. I agree. But that's part of why I said that is that Europe is nowhere near as concerned about it. As that's why the games that have these things tend to have been made in Europe. Things like, for example, all of Cyberpunk's game,
Yep.
CD Projekt Red's games, and also, um, Baldur's Gate 3, which, you know, as one of the developers said, this game is very horny, and it is
That is a
sometimes.
horny game.
Which is really funny because actually part of it was a bug, which I think is hilarious in and of itself. But I'm sure there's some people out there that are very sad that Gale is less horny now than he used to be. Um,
So, I mean, you're not wrong, Harold Spark. I think if we're talking about, like, fuck, in Baldur's Gate, you can grab something from another party member's inventory when they're across the entire map from you.
Yep.
Right? If
Magic
we're talking
Pockets.
about Magic
I
Pockets, it's
love
great.
that text.
I love Magic Pockets. I use it all the time. But if we're talking about a game that is so focused on, like, realism that you can have a spaceship with a tractor beam that can't even use the tractor beam to put its cargo in its own buttocks because its tractor beam can't reach around and get in there, I think we're actually missing out on true fidelity by not having full nudity in Star Citizen. Star Citizen is not fidelicious. Fidelitied. It's not Fidel Castro. What the fuck is the present term for fidelity? It is fuck. I'm really sweary tonight. I apologize.
You never have to apologize for swearing.
I also Fidelicious. I like Fidelish. I can't say it, but I like it.
I do. I like Fidelicious.
I like Fidelified as well. Fidelified, I can at least say.
Fidelified is a perfect title to put on Star Citizen. This has been Fidelified.
Certified Fidelified.
So here's what I would say to the enough features. The thing is, it's very likely, in fact, we have some indication that this may in fact be the case, that the actors who were scanned and their bodies were scanned nude. there might not be the characters may already be nude underneath their like clothes in the game, like we found with Aloy in in the new Horizon game, where she's fully naked underneath her clothes because it was a bug and you could clip
Really?
through her clothes. Yes.
I didn't know that.
um.
The whole
It was a whole thing.
hang on. Screw you, Mud Truck, because now I have to try and say fuck.
I can do it if you want.
Felidifability.
That's the one.
Wow. That's a good one. I like it. I like it a lot.
Playing with the English language, which makes no sense at the best of times.
I don't know. I think they should do it. I think there should be, like you said, there a toggle when you first load it up that says, do you want nudity or no? If you click no, then people always have, for you, their skivvies on. If you click yes, then it shows you they can go skivvyless.
Also, skivvyless is a great word as well.
I like it. We're just we're getting huge mouthfuls of words right now.
And I mean, the reason I mentioned that is that we saw there years and years ago. This was a Wingman's Hangar thing, okay? Many years ago, they actually showed one of their like photo scanning shoots of the body for when they were trying to import it into the game, and the woman for that one was nude. And they had to put big black bars on the screen, and they had to like move them around because they had no video editing capability.
Wingman's Hangar.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time, that Wingman's Hangar.
Yep.
But I obviously wouldn't be opposed to it, and I also think that the thing is, one of the things Baldur's Gate 3 actually has done for the industry, it is massively successful, like hugely successful, regardless of your measuring stick. It is a hugely successful game.
Yep.
And for a game to come out that does have nudity and romance and sex and all of that stuff and still sells really well, really will tell a lot of the studios that, hey, maybe this is okay. You know?
Well, and it's
not to mention winning so many awards that poor Sven is running out of hands.
Well, and not just that, but it was also able to do, sexuality and nudity in a way that is both respectful of every single character in there, because they are all they're willing participants in all of this, and there's story behind it. But it's not like dark. It's still a like bright and like colorful and vibrant game and world, because a lot of times when you get to like more mature video games, they're dark and grim and dirty, and it's like, no, we can still have color.
That's one of the things that makes Baldur's Gate 3 such a great game, is it goes from there are moments that are very silly and very funny and very light and enjoyable, to parts of it that are extremely dark. But that's a way better to have range than to be stuck in this, we're gonna put nudity in this because it's a serious.
My stream just lost connection, question mark.
You're having an adventure with your
I had a really good
internet service provider lately.
I had a really good ISP. They don't provide service to my new house.
Ouch.
Can't hear. Can you hear us now?
Can see, can't hear.
Can't hear.
Just a second. Let's see if when they catch up to us, if they still can't hear.
I don't know why that would be, because I'm seeing the sound bar go. Can you hear us now? I don't know.
Hello.
I hate the internet. I hate technology. Nay. Okay.
Okay, so there's something wrong with Streamlabs, probably.
Yeah. Let me.
You could try re-adding your audio sources. Oh yeah, maybe you'll wait for Mudtrucker to.
Yeah, I'll wait for an
refresh.
F5. I will be right back while Mudtrucker F5s.
Yep.
Carry on talking. I'll be 2 seconds.
So since we're talking about Baldur's Gate 3, it's worth mentioning that this morning actually they put out a hot fix as well to fix some of the issues that were caused by patch 5, which always sort of happens, so that's pretty cool. Larian does seem very quick to jump on issues. I am very quiet. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me now? Hello. Can you hear me now?
Why? No audio. Okay. Should we just end here? We've sort of run out of stuff to talk about anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you want to
Okay.
just call it.
Are you gonna
Just
type?
a second. I'll just type.
Thing broken. Not sure why.
Is that an all right statement?
Yes. Much hearts. We love you. We are sad to have to go. Things broke. Yeah. Love you. Bye.